George, you gotta smile.
You went across the river?
That is a small.
I do definitely have the most deployable crops.
Just get them.
How are you? I'm Sal. Andrew, nice to see you. You too. Thanks for being here. All right, we're good? All right. Good afternoon. Before we begin, I'd like to start just by thanking and acknowledging Fire Commissioner Rob Tucker, right here, and our Police Commissioner Tom Donlin, and to acknowledge with deep gratitude the work of our emergency management personnel who helped coordinate our Urban Search and Rescue and Emergency Management Association compact deployments, including our Deputy Commissioner John Grimm, Brittany Shaliro, who's actually down on her way to Georgia right now with a team that deployed yesterday, Susan Schnetzer, Soren Ligum, Mike Bellinson, who returned from the deployment today, and Nell Durfee, and then some other members of our team who've been coordinating this: Danielle Daly, Carla Penalino, Kevin Hedge, Shoshana Scheinfeld, Sidney Coe, and his team here at the warehouse. We at Emergency Management are incredibly proud to welcome back the members of New York Task Force 1, our elite FEMA Urban Search and Rescue team composed of FDNY, NYPD, and New York City Emergency Management personnel. These folks are always ready to answer the call. They do incredible work. 2 weeks ago, at a moment's notice, many of them, some of the folks on the police detail in particular, were coming off of the UN General Assembly. They jumped at the opportunity to deploy down and help their fellow Americans. And they've done this extensively. They've done it going to Maui after the fires, Vermont, Louisiana, North Carolina, Puerto Rico. We have members that deployed to Haiti after the 2010 earthquake down there. They are really, really incredible. This was a Type 3 task force with 46 dedicated members. They are one of 28 FEMA urban search and rescue task forces across the country. These are the same teams that always deploy when our country needs them. Many of us remember in the days after 9/11, a lot of folks from around the country rushed into New York to help us. This is the way that we repay that favor. On September 25th, New York Task Force 1 deployed to North Carolina in the wake of Hurricane Helene with a wide range of capabilities. They brought swiftwater rescue, technical search, canine search, a medical team, and a fully equipped logistics and base of operations. In the first hours of the hurricane, the team immediately went to work, locating and rescuing 2 stranded EMS workers and their ambulance. They faced blockaded roads, downed trees, mudslides, cave-ins, and yet amidst all of this devastation, these men pushed forward. Every road they cleared was a path to safety. Every hand they held offered a lifeline of support. Every home they checked brought a measure of hope to our fellow Americans. They carried families to waiting helicopters. They provided aid to the injured, and they offered a steady hand at all times. They conducted daring swiftwater rescue operations. They rescued a woman and her 3 dogs from a collapsed and flooded home. They hiked miles through treacherous mountainous terrain to reach a house that had been destroyed by a mudslide, ensuring the safety of the person trapped inside. They hiked miles to reach those that were inaccessible by road, assisting the National Guard in airlifting 27 stranded people to safety. They worked tirelessly alongside local agencies, utilizing their canine units to conduct targeted search and even searching submerged vehicles in a river. The road to recovery from Hurricane Helene will be long, but it's paved with hope thanks to the efforts of these amazing men standing behind me and the tireless efforts of New York Task Force 1. But even as they return home, we know that another hurricane is on the horizon, with Milton barreling towards the coast of Florida. And FEMA is mobilizing even more resources to meet this threat. And so Task Force 1 is being refreshed. Yesterday, we deployed members to replace these members who returned home. And today, those members are on their way to Georgia, the Florida border, to pre-position themselves ahead of Hurricane Milton's landfall. And so as that crew makes their way to achieve their mission, let's think of them and their families, and to all Americans in harm's way in the path of the hurricane. I'm incredibly grateful for these men and women, And with that, I will turn it over to our Police Commissioner, Tom Donlan. Tom?
Sorry. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Well, good evening, everyone. We are happy to welcome back to New York #1 Task Force. We're grateful for the work they did during their Hurricane Helene rescue and recovery. But while we welcome these officers home, we are now sending additional resources down south for the next storm. I understand they left just a short time ago. It's all part of the NYPD's commitment to keep everyone safe, no matter where we are or where we are needed. In the past 3 years alone, the NYPD personnel have been deployed with FEMA 11 times to 9 different states. And it's important to note the responsibilities that all these individuals had to take on while they were in these locations. And they brought their exceptional skill, their training, and dedication to the communities in need. And that's what, particularly our ESU folks have done throughout the past several decades. We're extremely proud of them for the work they did and for the work they are going to do. Thank you for all our agency partners who make these much-needed deployments possible, including FEMA, OEM, the FDNY, and others. These partnerships save lives. We're praying for the people of Florida as they brace for Hurricane Milton. We'll continue to answer those calls for help anytime and anywhere. Thank you.
Mr. Tucker?
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Not much to add to what Commissioner Iskell and Commissioner Donlan have said, except to personally thank this task force for their unbelievably heroic efforts on behalf of our country. These are national heroes behind us. And when you hear from the team leaders, you'll understand the work that they did and the confidence they gave family members who needed welfare checks of other family members. But the one thing I wanted to point out is that the spirit of cooperation between the police department and the fire department has never been stronger, and it's this team that works so closely together in North Carolina. They also work together on the streets of New York City. And that, I think, is an added benefit to what happened down in North Carolina. And I just want to thank these members, all of them, from all of the agencies, and thank the leadership for their tireless work on behalf of our country. So thank you.
It's now my great honor and privilege. When I took this job, I talked to my kids about the fact that I got to work with superheroes every day, and I now get to introduce 2 really remarkable superheroes who are leading this team down there. So first off, I'd like to call up our Task Force 1 leader, Battalion Chief Jack Flatley, who will talk a little bit about the deployment.
Good evening. I was the task force leader for this Type 3 deployment to North Carolina. I couldn't be prouder. The men worked very hard, did amazing things while we were there. Like the commissioner had gone through all the details of what we did, the swift water rescues, the searching. We did helicopter airlifts. And it was truly amazing to see the work that these people do. So like I said, I couldn't be prouder.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. Now I'd like to call up another hero who's down there, the Deputy Leader, NYPD, Lieutenant Mike Granahan from the NYPD's ESU.
Good evening, everybody. I'd just like to thank all the commissioners for coming out, supporting the team on our return. Like Jack said, extremely proud of this team. Every day they got up, they went to work, and helped many good people. It's sad of what happened to North Carolina, but at the same token, very happy of how this team performed. Thank you.
Could anyone who was there kind of tell us what the team is going to encounter in Florida with predictions of the storm surge and what we saw going on? Obviously, every storm is different, but what are your predictions of what you expect the team in Florida to be doing in the next few days?
Well, the biggest problem, I think, in Florida is going to be the surge. So the two differences between the water damage is with a surge, it kind of rolls in. With these floods, it just came in like a torrent and tore apart the earth and wiped out the houses and took out the infrastructure. So, you know, it's still going to be a water event, but I kind of feel like the after effects are going to be slightly different. But they're prepared for either one.
There were some people who decided not to evacuate in the evacuation zones. How dangerous do you think that decision?
I haven't been really glued to the news because we've had a mission every day and, you know, trying to keep track of.
What is that to heed those warnings?
Well, it's very important to heed the warnings, but, you know, everybody makes their own decisions. You know.
Thanks all. How many people are in Florida right now?
We'll get you.
We can get you that number. John, do you have it?
Actually, none.
None in Florida.
Right. Yeah, they're not in
They're
Florida.
in Georgia, Zach.
Yeah, in Georgia.
yeah.
81 that's going down right now, 87 deployed altogether.
So 87 deployed, and they're staged in Florida.
81 that left yesterday?
Some of them left. I think 47 left yesterday. Some left this morning. Some are already down there as members of various other details.
Okay, so in total 87.
In total, 87. That includes the support team, the IMP. And does that include
IST.
Does
IST.
not include the IMP. How many are in the IMP?
About
40.
About another 40, and they're in North Carolina,
Yeah.
correct? Yeah. So we've got another 40 that are in North Carolina,
Yeah.
plus some additional resources. I think there's 2 other dog teams that are down there.
Are they moving to Florida, though, in North Carolina?
We've not. The North Carolina team is staying in North Carolina. But I'm sorry. So there's a team that has been in North Carolina that did a relief in place with this team. They are moving to Georgia. There's another IMT team with the fire department that is staying in North Carolina for now, but that could change.
Thanks, everybody. If you have more questions, we can answer.
Yeah.
Thanks all.
Nice job. I'm sleeping. Yeah, great.
Thanks. Yeah. Jack, thanks a lot. All right. Yeah, you can tell.
You said it right when you walked in.